All right, Balance Nation, it's time for another episode of Take the Red Pill. That's lovely. Might have to talk about that tonight. All right, guys, wait for a few folks to come on here, and we're going to get it on. All right, so we're going to talk about what I've affectionately called the Detox dope dealers and the Bioenergetic Buffoons. Had to come up with something, with a hook. Okay, let's see what we got going here. Let me go to Facebook and see if the feed is lovely and delicious. Oh, yes, yes. Why, yes, there it is. He is now live in Balance Nation. Okay, guys, let me break it down for you. Detoxification. All right, let's get into a little detoxification and how I cut myself shaving. All right, so here's the deal. What I like to do, I had a very interesting day today. I had an interesting day in that I talked to a couple of prospective individuals who wanted to, of course, train in the preceptorship program, and then a couple of people who wanted to be introduced to me by another individual. And it never ceases to amaze me it's a little self-sabotage, not from me, but from other people. But what happens is when people seek help and information, what happens is they have this preconceived notion that it's a simple solution. So they go into it with that particular bias, looking for somebody that will basically substantiate that bias. The problem is yours truly and Balance Protocol are convoluted, complex, and not easily regurgitatable because it's not simple. Nothing is simple. Context is rarely ever simple. And so when people think, okay, well, this is the guy who's got some information on this, then I tell them that, and that I tell them things that makes them realize that, wow, I'm not getting what I preconceived thought I was going to be getting. And that's because I'm not an intellectual enabler. In other words, I'm not going to let people think that they're going to, think their way out of their situation. You certainly can't pay off $10,000 in debt with $10. If you have a chronic disease or complaint and it's been bugging you for years, okay, you've had it for years, don't think that you're going to get rid of it in a couple of months. Don't think you're going to get rid of it necessarily in a year. Now, if you learn and live the protocol, we tend to do that, but I like to, under promise and over deliver. But the take home here is that people wait until they do a whole bunch of stupid stuff over time, cumulative effect, battle with different things forever, do their N=1 experiment, try a whole bunch of different things, go to different Facebook groups, listen to a bunch of different gurus, a bunch of different podcasts and all kind of stuff. And I cover this ad nauseum in the Balance Protocol Prime free program at programs.balanceprotocol.com. But here's the deal. They don't have any Q square, M square context of themselves. So when you try to take something as what you would possibly think is, okay, the world is toxic. We can all believe that, right? The air is polluted. The water is polluted. Our food is polluted. That's true. That's really, I don't even know if anybody even debates that. What's debated is your body's capacity to handle that. Allopathic medicine at large thinks it's just your body can handle all of it. Even though they're not taught it at all. All they do is prescribe toxins. But anyways, it's irony. But my point is I think we can all agree with that. But what isn't taught is the divinely created, lovely and deliciousness, that which is the human body. It can take a bunch of crap. I mean, it really, really can. There's a lot of things that it handles on its own. But there's a lot of big floating matzo balls out there of presupposition, okay? First of all, I rarely use the term detox. And the reason is because it's short for detoxification. And that's the wrong word to be understanding, okay? And here's the reason why. When the environment, air, water, food, not to mention the toxic emotions and energetics of people's, okay, energy fields, that's a whole nother toxin. When those bring that into the body, it's not that the body is needing to detox. It's more of what the correct term, and this is key number 8 of the 2358 framework, is biotransformation. That is the proper word, and I've been telling it for 20 some years, okay? I use detox only as a common understanding of vernacular so that way we can kind of understand we're talking about the same thing. But you know me, I'm going to have to overcomplicate something with words to make it very simplified in application, okay? So detoxification is not what people think it is. It's not that simple, okay? Detoxification would be, okay, you get a bunch of dirt on you and you got these toxins, you take a shower and you rinse it and wash it off. Okay, you just detoxed. If you took that into your nose, breathed it into your lungs, it's now transported through your circulatory system and then deposited into some tissues, which then therefore sequester it into some lipids. If you think for a minute that you're going to take some milk thistle and detoxify that, well, then you've been listening to the wrong folks. If you think you're going to go smoke some zeolite drops and detox, you're dead wrong, okay? And the reason is because, again, we're using another term, toxins. Not all toxins are the same, right? There's dynamically different ranges of toxins. They have an affinity for various different tissues, and you can't treat them all the same. So you can't, therefore, have a detox product, because all these detox dope dealers are people who are selling you dietary supplements. That's what it boils down to, okay? What they're doing is they're basing everything that they're doing off a false presupposition that people don't question, okay? But then they'll say things like, we was in an earlier thread this week in Balance Nation about you got to drain it. You got to drain out. And if you're not draining, you're not getting rid of you're not getting rid of the toxins. And that's just not true, because not all toxins are drainable. Okay? It's not like they're going, like, okay, I'm going to drain this bottle of carbonated magnesium infused coconut water. It's not a matter of just going and pouring it out or sweating it out. Newsflash, guys, when you sweat, you're not getting rid of toxins. You're not in the large degree that you think you are. What you're doing is when you're, like, say, if you're in a sauna and you sweat, you're draining sweat, toxins are not coming out in that. If you scoop off that sweat, boom, send it off to the lab, and they mass spec it, burn it out thing, you're not going to find a whole bunch of toxins in there. You're not. That's because those toxins are not drainable through the sweat. That's a lie. It's a presupposition. The people who are telling you to sweat to get rid of toxins are dog and pony showing you. They're Wizard of Oz effect. But does that mean that the sauna does not help facilitate toxins? No, it does. How? By changing the water physics in and around cells and tissues. It's about charge. Okay, it's about charge potential at the membrane surface. Because you got to remember, you swallow something, right? Yum, 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 yum. Goes in the stomach. Leaves the stomach, goes in the intestines, leaves the intestines through the wall, makes a jump through some matrix into vascularity. Now it's whipping around in vascularity, out of the vascularity, and into the interstitial tissue between cells. Then it leaves that cell, and then it goes into the cell. So you got all these doors, all these locks and dams. Whenever I think of this, I kind of think of, that Matrix episode where there was the key maker, the key maker. I always confuse that with, Ghostbusters. I'm the key keeper, whatever, the key maker for the keeper. Anyways, you got to for a molecule, whether it be a nutrient or a toxin, it's got to go through all kinds of places. all kinds of phospholipid bilayers. And if you think it's just so simple that stuff got in there by the very virtue of its presence, you need to get back to biochemistry. You need to get back to physics, okay? And if you think stuff that's in the cells just magically comes out, you got to go back to those disciplines too and research. Research is not listening to a topic to supposed health gurus and experts. It's not. Research is, like I said before, the Dewey Decimal System. It is textbooks. It is studies. And oh my God, good luck with taking a long time to do that. But it's what I did for years because that's just what I read. I don't read comic books or, Harlequin novels. Okay? So the upshot is that detoxification is first and foremost a misnomer. The next thing about detoxification is the false presupposition that it's simple to remove toxins from the body through mechanisms of biotransformation. Okay, you with me on that? You don't get a feedback, but that's kind of how it goes. Okay, I always ask. Check that out. You got to understand. You have to also realize that in order for the body to biotransform something, it has to go through various phases. Now, most people have probably heard of phase 1 and phase 2, but technically there's a phase 0. More on that in just a second, okay? So you just don't go presuppose that, okay, I'm going to take some niacin, okay, some B3, and I'm going to go sweat in a sauna and detox. Okay, ask yourself or any other person who's doing that, what toxins specifically are you removing? What's the mechanism of action and how is it happening? Go. They won't be able to answer. Why? Because they're presupposing what they were told. Oh, the niacin protocol. Okay, so if your niche is saunas, you're going to tell everybody you need a sauna. And then you're going to be, and then by the way, you sweat it and you drain it. And if you and we take something like niacin, which makes you flush and vasodilate, and if you do it at the same time, that's going to sweat. Well, you're presupposing that your body can handle that niacin, first and number one. Number two, niacin does not molecularly interact with these toxins, and I'm just grouping them into it, okay? If you think if you have, let's say for instance like that, my special forces guys, they blow shit up for a living, years and years and years, decades later, they're in the shoot houses, in the ranges, blah, 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 right? They're loaded with lead, okay? Lead has an affinity for the bones. It hides out in the bones. If you think, for a minute, it is as simple to go in a sauna, take some niacin to get lead to leave the bones and make the journey from bone cells. Number one, it doesn't go to your sweat. You're not going to get rid of lead through your sweat. If you think you're going to take that lead out of your bones into circulation, magically send it into the portal vein, you get over to the liver, make it do its stuff and all its chemistry, which I'm going to give you a short lesson on here in just a second, and then dump it out to the urine and or your poop, somebody's lying to you. It is an arduous journey, okay? Why is that? Because everybody's all out there on this mother flipper gene, the dirty gene shtick. And more on that later, because I found out that all these people who don't write their books, who ghostwrite their books, use the same ghostwriters. And that book just happens to be one of them. But anyways, here's the deal. The upshot is that you have genes that have certain encodings for stuff like the MTHFR, okay, which governs, or has influence, I should say correctly, a person's ability to perform methylation. Methylation is fancy term for this little carbon and hydrogen molecule construct that adds on to a particular another molecule that allows the body to deal with it, in layman's terms. So here's the deal. So everybody gets all stuck on methylation. Well, did you know you have gene SNPs for acetylation? You have them for conjugation, glucuronidation, sulfation. So in other words, we either accept that there are gene single nucleotide polymorphisms that are in play to a person's capacity to do something, or we don't. And if we do, you just can't pick one, which is what, one famous person is out there doing as their niche, methylation. And then you get all the other people who like that and they want to be like them, so they start saying, hey, I'm going to say everything that this guy says. They never checked the math. They never understood the context. So this is the problem when people try to, imitate and bite off of AGB and balanced protocol. They come off half-cocked. They don't understand the whole story. Okay? The Paul Harvey effect. All right. So when you're talking about sulfation, glucuronidation, acetylation, methylation, etc., those are what we call phase 2 conjugation pathways. Okay? Those are things that happen both in the liver and at the tissue level. Okay? You can't presuppose that when you take a supplement that induces one of those systems, that it induces all the rest. First thing. Next thing, if you go and you produce a whole bunch of freed substances that are in that state that can be handled in phase 2, your body now has to transport them out. And it doesn't send them to the sweat. It puts it into the bloodstream, into the lymphatics, into your pee and into your poop. Okay? So then now those organ tissues are like, what the hell is all this crap being pulled out of storage so fast? It causes problems. Oh no, you're just having a Herxheimer reaction. That's just a healing. Keep doing it. Push through it. When your body's telling you don't do it. When else do we do that? Oh, that burns my hand. Put your hand back to warm it up. You're burning it with a flame. Oh my gosh. So phase 2. So I'm going backwards here. So into phase 1, those are cytochrome P450 enzymes. Okay? These are things that deal with oxidation, reduction, hydrolysis, hydration, and dehalogenation. Okay? So the thing is that those are hardwired into your genes too. Okay? So the upshot really is, in order to really biotransform something, in other words, something that isn't you, some heavy metal, some bisphenol, some glyphosate, some VOC, some formaldehyde, whatever, any and all kinds of chemicals. Your body has to take those things that aren't self and biotransform them through a series of processes, okay? So it's not so simple. Now, guess what? Your body has all the wiring, unless you have a genetic defect or something like that on one of those pathways. That is possible. But for the vast majority of them, we don't have that. So barring that caveat, your body knows how to do that in its divine intelligence. So this is why the allopathic community says it handles it on its own. It's just when it can't do it fast enough because the dose makes the poison and you get too much of it, right? So it's one of those kind of things. If someone takes too much Tylenol, we need to give them some N-acetylcysteine. Okay, first autopsy rotation I ever did was this big fat, lady who killed herself by, 28 Tylenols. Good night, Irene. Body couldn't deal with that toxin, okay? So the thing here is where I'm going with that is your body can handle a little bit, okay? Guess what else is a toxin? Cannabis. We don't want to talk about that. No one wants to talk about that. It's medicine. Okay, it's sacred. Okay? No, it's not. It's a toxin. Anything that you burn and inhale is a toxin. Period. Guess what? A lot of foods are toxin. We could define the word toxin broadly in all kinds of things and say everything's a toxin. Anything that's not self is a toxin. Okay? So, drugs are a toxin. NSAIDs are a toxin. Dietary supplements are toxins. Now, guess what? Here's another thing about the detox dope dealers. They're not telling you or asking you what other supplements are you taking. Because most people who are pill, potion, and powder poppers, you guys love to lay them all out and feel, relevant. Look at all the stuff I'm doing. Look at all this stuff I'm taking. I'm taking this for this and this for this and this for this. And remember, you never quantify it. You go, this is good for the liver, but yet you've never tested your liver prior to taking it, during taking it. You say, oh, this supports brain health. What, have you ever quantified any key performance indicators of your brain to determine if you're getting any, return on your investment? I mean, we do it everywhere else, right? If we invest in stock, we're going to take a look at the stock market at least, right? If you hire employees to do stuff, you got to do audits, and reviews. So anyways, but people take things for things always on presupposition based upon getting marketed to and you're unaware of it. So then the problem is you're losing the context of also there are other drug to drug, nutrient to nutrient, and nutrient to drug, and herb to nutrient interactions, okay, that can absolutely squash biotransformation and or detoxification. Okay? So there's more to it is my point. Now, one of the things you guys are probably going to start getting tired of or absolutely love and embrace is the fact that I call bullshit on just about everything. And the reason why that is because just about everything is bullshit. And this is what I've done for a living and a career. This is my passion. This is why I don't know how to really play an instrument except a triangle. I can play a triangle. Anyways. It's the reason why I don't do a whole bunch of other things. I can't sing, I can't really draw. I'm not an artist, right? So I didn't put any time into learning those skills of being able to do that kind of fun stuff. This is the stuff that I do. And then in a clinical setting, that's the other thing. So the reason why I call bullshit on just about everything is because it is bullshit. I'm sorry to tell you, okay? You're going to get sobering thoughts here. Now, I'm very open-minded to stuff, and I'm always going to tell you based upon my clinical understanding of things, all right? Then as we're going backwards here, one of the other things is people forget about phase 0 detoxification. I bet you a nickel to a peanut, you're not going to find these health gurus and these bloggers talking about things like OATP-B, C, or P. Right? These are called organic anion transporting polypeptides. Okay? In other words, when you have toxins come into the body and your body has a reduced capacity to detox them for a variety of different reasons, to deal with their energetics on the molecular level, everything is energy, frequency, vibration. If your energy, frequency, vibration, and the way that your body harmonizes does not allow the body to just take something in and kick it right back out, the body will take it, try to deal with it, and put it into storage to save your ass, okay? Once it puts it in there, it knows it's in there, okay? And in order to get it out, you have to take it back out of the bank. It's always easy to go in and put a deposit in the bank, isn't it? But whenever you want to get some of that money, you got to wait, and you got to get your ID. They don't ask for your ID if you want to give them money to put in there. So your body's kind of snooty like that too, right? So you got OATPs and things like that gets it ready, passes it over to phase 1, cytochrome P450 enzymes. Then you got to go through conjugation pathways, and then you have the actual physical transport, okay? So technically, there's 4. And so that physical transport, like sweating and, doing the, dry skin brushing and all that other kind of fun stuff, it works. It's very good. I get it, okay? But at the end of the day, you got to do all of it. You can't think that you're just going to go to some company like Quicksilver, right, and take their little, drain, catch, and blah, and all the little fun little things that they say marketing-wise and fall for it. They don't cover, organic, anionic transports. They don't cover a lot of things, right? And then like, oh, well, then there's the binders. Well, what kind of binder? We're talking about a mechanical binder. We're talking about a chemical binder. We're talking about an ionic binder. There's various binders. Not everything binds the same, okay? Charcoal does not work the same as bentonite clays, the same as zeolite, does not work the same as pectin. There's different classifications for different things. They don't sequester everything. All right, so that's my deal on detoxification dope dealers, okay? They're giving you only bits and pieces that sound good in a hook and a sales pitch to a simply oversimplified supplement of presupposition, okay? That's all I'm trying to tell you, okay? You got to mobilize toxins, okay? Then you have to biotransfer them and you got to excrete them. You see what I'm saying? It's not all, you can't have just one thing do one thing. It's like one knife. Okay, great. This paring knife is amazing. Yeah, try to debone a chicken with that knife. Try to slice a big prime rib with that little knife. In other words, but it's a knife. There's all kinds of different ways to do stuff, right? And then all these common substances like milk thistle and curcumin and NAC and niacin and all the other, and again, if it doesn't correct your environment and the sources of them, your lifestyle that produces the source of them, unbelievable, okay? And when you are inducing, for lack of a better term, just to go in, these detoxification pathways, biotransformation pathways, you're using up nutrients. So if you make them work harder, you're presupposing that you have the nutrients for them to be upregulated, and most people don't. That's why you bioaccumulated them in the first place. which is why balance protocol is extremely so powerful. It's nourish, balance, purify. You have to nourish first, balance out the systems, then you can deal with start biotransforming and stuff. You don't just go straight to pulling out heavy metals and toxins and doing your P tests and all these detox protocols and taking EDTA and anyways. Okay, so before I get into the bioenergetics, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look here briefly at all the comments that I've just been ignoring while I'm here so I didn't lose my speed. All right, so let's see if I can answer some of these questions here real quick, and then we will transfer over to the next thing. Everything is pop, 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 pop. Okay. Catherine, as you mentioned, so that explains why I shouldn't be taking everything on the NutrEval all at once. Absolutely not. Matter of fact, Catherine, don't take anything on the NutrEval. It can't tell you that. The little NutrEval, these are all the things. Yeah, don't take any of those because it's highly contextual. And that's the hallmark of a person who has no idea what the hell they're doing. These clinicians, that's what they do. They're like, test, don't guess. And I use the same lab that Dr. Beck does, the NutrEval. Well, you're presupposing you interpret it the same as I do. Not you, but I'm just saying, you know, the clinicians do. And they're dead wrong. Okay? I'm on MSN 6300 this term, and I'm checking it all in boxes. Chucking, I don't know what that means, Anna. Let's see here. Dr. Crinan taught all of this. Dr. A is the best. Okay, well, I don't know who that is. So, it's so weird. It doesn't give me all the comments and stuff. What the heck's going on there? Looks like where's all the comments? It says 16 comments, and so I should probably just turn on my view here. Bear with me, guys, here in just a second here. Yeah, so detox is kind of crazy. I mean, people really do get duped all the time, you know, and it really is a sad state of affairs that people don't do it right. And if you do have clinicians out there who are saying some of these similar things, fantastic, more power to it. But I would beg to differ that just because we're saying the same doesn't mean they know the application is the same. Okay? Let's see. Rest his soul. Minich is teaching it as you know. Well, if you're talking about Deanna Minich, no. Sorry. Beautiful. My opinion. Okay? Based upon my experience, discovery, and belief, I do not align with Minich at all. And they don't know what they're talking about at large. Absolutely not. They are starting to finally come around into understanding some things with EMF and stuff, but I'm very familiar. Okay? Matter of fact, there's not a single person over in the IFM staff that I would encourage anybody to get any solid information from. So anyways. Let me see what thing's going here. All right, so the upshot, okay, is you got to be careful where you get your information from. I'm not the only person who knows what I do, but you know, I'm just telling you. Let's take other informatics for what they are in the case by case basis, but just don't mix what I'm saying in with you know, everybody being the same when it comes to that. Okay, so now I'm going to pivot over to bioenergetics, the bioenergetic buffoons. The reason why it's really important here to understand the biotransformation side is because now comes in the epitome of shortcutters. And these are these people who think that they can put in or expose the body to a frequency and it detox. That is patently false. That is not how it works. And the reason why I say that is because I've played with it for decades. okay? I've played with all the EAV devices, okay? I've clinically evaluated and tested it across biomarkers and tracking things in a clinical setting, from things like the Biomeridian system and the OnDemand and the Zyto, and I mean, just a whole bunch of them. And they literally, and like the NES system, that's the newest one, right? So those are literally the hallmark for the charlatans, the people who are suckers, right? And you got to understand, these companies, they come in with fantastic affiliate programs to get on their platform as influencers, not being a clinician at all, never seeing a patient in their life, much less tens of thousands of them, maybe a couple of hundred because they did some type of rotation in school. And then they're telling everybody, oh, the NES. All they ever do on these machines is regurgitate what the company trains them and propagandizes them to do. Okay? A perfect example, in my opinion, okay, and again, I'm always going to caveat whenever I give someone a particular critique. It's based upon my personal opinion, my personal experience, and research and evaluation. Do your due diligence to investigate. A perfect example of both the Detox dope dealers and the Bioenergetic Buffoons is a one Wendy Myers, okay? The Myers Detox, okay? You can go check out her story, but best as I know, had a healing journey, mom, whatever, never been a clinician, and then of course goes and takes a $5,000 course called the Functional Diagnostic Nutrition. If anybody has FDN at the end of their name, that's somebody who tried to pay $5,000 for credentials. Anyways, so they're the ones, okay? They're the ones that haven't had enough personal research, didactic, and scholarly research to be able to protect themselves from the silliness, okay? But that's an entire brand, is of course that kind of stuff. And then that same individual believes that they got this little dog tag thing that you harmonize, and you have to calibrate every so often, but you just wear it and it protects you from EMF. They literally, one after another, buy into each little thing. It's the same kind of thing when there's people out there. And again, same kind of deal, same type of legal disclosure here, guys. This is my pure opinion. You asked for it based upon my personal research and what I've seen. You got people like the same thing like Wellness Mama, right? Okay. So Katie and stuff like that, same kind of thing. All these sites, okay? I'm not saying everything in there is incorrect. I'm just simply saying that there is a mechanism to where people who don't know what they're talking about just hire writers to do all these articles, okay, and make all these statements and stuff like that and sell the next thing that the next company comes to and presents them with. It's kind of like for me, what I'm supposed to do is go to all these influencers and these bloggers and these YouTubers and all this kind of fun stuff and, tell them about, my programs or my Helion nutraceuticals or my coffee, which is launching in June, right? So I sell stuff too, guys. I get it, but I'll never lie and conflate. And the difference is the level of personal integrity and research that I do versus, everybody else. That's where I'm getting at. So in the bioenergetic buffoonery world, I want you to understand that it is another mechanism people are trying to shortcut doing things. Remember, you can't pay off $10,000 in debt with $10. You can't reverse years of stupidity, everything you negotiate and tolerated, okay, with a little zapper. You can't go and take the little pin and zap all your little Gene Well points, right? And do certain different points in your umbilicus and on your arm and all these reflex points and then, put the little energy into them and let this computer read it out. Much less take that information supposedly into their little magical algorithm and then have a little thing like this and you put your thing on it, and now you make something really cool called an infoceutical. How freaking sexy is that? So this whole computer diagnosed everything in your whole life through a little, zap, and then now it's going to take this little water and they're going to reverse the energy back into it, and they're going to, now all you got to do is take that. I mean, that is the epitome of snake oil. I mean, I can't even, listen, but I was open to it. I played with it. Okay, I believe you can put energetics into water, okay, through succussion, through other stimulation. But not so simple is to go, oh, well, you got a problem with your thyroid, everybody does. You got a problem with your liver, everybody does. You got a problem with your intestines and your bowels and your gut, everybody does. And then, this is and then they do all this little things and they do that and they send it to your stuff and then they give you this little nutraceutical or infoceutical for $40 and you take the drops and everything's great. Now, that's dangerous. Can information be given into there? Sure. Can those machines be putting information into there? It's possible. Have I seen people take those things and have effects? Yes. Could it be placebo? Sure. Could it be nocebo? Sure. Could it actually be informatics that damaged them and caused a juxtaposition on the body's energetics? Yes. So what I'm saying is that it's too convoluted. And then lastly, these very bioenergetic people, okay? Remember, you're talking to an energy frequency, vibration, a la Tesla kind of guy, okay? Everything is motion, movement, and spin. Everything is energetic. Don't go think for a minute, okay, that I don't understand the lure and the lore of the woo-woo, all right? I've played with it. Oh my gosh, have I more than played? I'm just saying play with it because that's just my term. Here's the thing though, it's not trackable. And what I've done is I have taken those energetics and then I've looked at repeatable, standardized, Q square M squareable biomarkers and I've watched what happens. Same like with the ASEA people, the ASEA multi-level marketing product, based upon my clinical experience, research, and evaluation, all right? Bullshit. It doesn't change anybody's redox, okay? When you start putting random energy frequencies into the body without any context, you're asking for trouble. Here's the next thing. They didn't account, never. And this is the ace in the hole, guys. You guys can do this too, okay? They don't control for the environment in which they're testing. Seriously. They don't even tell people that they're in a zero microwave environment. They got cell phones and the Wi-Fi router so you can sit there on your phone while you're waiting for your visit to bring you into their little office so they can zap you with that little thing and sell you an infoceutical. I've literally been in offices where they're sitting at the desk, okay? And their little Nexus machine, listen, I bought one of the first Biomeridians way back in the day, back when they were 50 grand. And their little infoceutical machine is literally by a strip plug for all the computer stuff and their dark field microscope and all that other kind of shit, right? And so you can't tell me that those energetics of the environment aren't affecting the input and the impregnation of that information into that bottle. They don't even know about that. I let them go ahead and do their deal, and then I challenge them on it, and then they go, they're dumbfounded. Same thing when you're on these trade floors. You go to all these different functional conferences, and then you got all the aisles of the charlatans. You go to these summits, right? These little masterminds, you got all their little booths of all the vendors and sponsors, and they're all selling their form of crazy. Same thing. And they're doing all these little tests and stuff and pushing on your arm and hold this and then and pulling you down. They're not even accounting for the energetics of the environment. Okay? So, bioenergetics, I get the theory and I'm open to it because I love it, right? It's pretty dang amazing. And it kind of reminds me, I love the torus. You guys ever seen these? All right, so torus. So everything, let me kind of show you. So it's kind of like the Earth, right? But here's the thing. You collapse it and it turns into a ring, right? You'll even see dolphins make these with their air bubbles underwater. It's pretty cool. But the torus, so remember, everything that's in this ring and all this flow, the configuration that it is geometrically, when it can expand, okay? And it can contract, right? Back in again. Okay, and it can come back out again, okay? And then guess what it can also do? It can also fold and still be a torus. So now you have a different field, okay? You put one of these on top, another on the other. Oh, what does that look like? The electromagnetic fields of the Earth and stars, okay? And then see, nothing's changed, but see how we can take the same stuff and make different configurations of pathways? Anyways, this is kind of it takes more context. I use this for, teaching all my preceptees. But the point is, everything is movement and flow and energetics. And so you have to take in account the nature of where and how these tests are being done and how everything comes together in their influence together. It's like playing one note. No one plays songs with one notes, except maybe Mary had a little lamb, right? But you start playing some chords, boom, 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 and now you got some music going. So careful of how you combine things. Don't be fooled by the energetic stuff, the shortcuts, and all the other kind of stuff. Your red pill, and again, this isn't a commercial, and I know it could sound like that, but that's why I give it for free, is Balanced Protocol. The framework is your sobering litmus to all the bullshit. I'll do the best I can to keep calling it out here and give you specific reasons why, but ultimately, you have to do your own research, your own due diligence, find out for yourself, okay? That's how it was. More comments. Let's see what we got here. Please comment on Rife machines, okay? What's your opinion of Rife machines? Well, guys, I just gave it, okay? I studied the work of Rife. I've got notebooks of original research of Rife, okay? I've got cool stuff that, if ever I get suicided, they're going to come look for it, okay? But my point is this. Yes, okay? You do have energetics and stuff. Rife was right on some things. But the difference is, though, is that there's so many frequencies, okay? It changes in the context of how many multifaceted layers come into play, okay? For instance, you can't take a particular one Rife frequency or chord, okay, or range, and think that it treats cancer. We already covered that in the other video. Okay, what cancer and in what tissue and in what state of said tissue. That changes the formula. Okay, like I said, you can't strike a match in space. Okay, it's not the match's fault. It just doesn't have an environment in order to do its job. Okay, so you can't do these Rife machines. You can't. Okay, because you don't understand the context of the biological terrain status of you within your lifestyle and also environment and your nutritional status. So that's that, okay? Let's see here. All right, so let me pull something up here real quick. All right, so I got my chat window thing back up. A little behind here. All right. Well, welcome to the party, Stephen, Courtney, Nor. I thought it was proven that sweat has more toxins in it than normal when you are in a sauna. No. Nor, it's proven. Okay, go prove it. Back to that. No, it doesn't. How do I know? Because I've sampled it and sent it off. Okay, you guys go spend the money too. Go do it. Okay, send it off to do that. Send it off to Mass Spec. There's all kinds of companies, all the way from Avamine to all kinds of people that will burn shit for you and tell you what's in it. The other thing is you can send it off to pathology. You can also send it off to somebody with a microscope and have them look in there, and you'll see it. There's different things, and you'd be surprised the stuff that they say comes out that doesn't come out. Okay, Anna KM asked me, what are the dangers of the 7-day, 14-day, 21 days detox box programs offered by Manu Naturopaths? Well, the danger is it's going to cost you a whole bunch of money to be listening to idiots, okay? Particularly those of Metagenics account. Of course, what are they doing? They're selling you that stuff. They don't ask you about your environment. If you start modulating and moving like various toxins that have different energetics, and you're laying and sleeping in excessive body voltage or magnetic fields or high radio frequency environments, you're in a lot of danger. Okay? Because either those energetics affect you or they don't. Okay? It's not the same as if they're tucked into a fat soluble form in some adipose tissue somewhere, versus if you induce them to come out of that, become an intermediate metabolite, and shift over to a water-soluble charge. And then now put that element, or that intermediate, in a high energetic field, okay? So these whole things are just, they're not quantifying it, guys. And if you're not quantifying your biological terrain before you embark upon these 7, 14, and 21-day detoxes offered by naturopathic doctors, particularly those of the Metagenics account, okay, then you're asking for trouble, because how do you even know? Okay, that's like say, you know what, I'm going to detox my house. I'm going to tear down this wall and remodel it. And you didn't even think, well, do I need to get a permit? Where am I going to put all the trash? Do I have enough people to help it? What if I open up the wall and it's a weight-bearing wall? Then I can't bend it. I mean, I try to come up with an example on the run here, but the bottom line is, guys, you can't be so reckless, okay? Yes, the dirty jeans dude screwed up the majority of people. That's right, because it's a tale of an individual who had an epiphany and go, oh, methylation. And they made everything methylation, and then they wanted to tell everybody methylation. This is what happens, okay? People will pick one thing. It happens for me too, like, oh my God, Becca's talking about context, so they want to go be all about context. And you guys can do that. You can share the gospel. You should give credit where credit's due. But the problem is that's what happens. You got all these people, okay, that spin off. This disciple effect is what I call it. And, you know, we always appreciate that because we got to spread the word and transform the world together. But you can't lose track of the individual and the context that comes from multifactorial things, okay? And I'm glad you, yep, the Herc. I mean, there's a clinician out there whose thing is push through the pain. That's his tagline. When everything's terrible, push through the pain. I mean, ask yourself, wherever does that really work? When you're making love to your spouse and it starts to hurt down there, do you just keep going? Hell no, you don't. You stop. If your body is telling you, this is too much, okay? Sometimes it says no. Sometimes it says slow. Sometimes it just says whoa. Listen to it. Holy crap. Give it more? Jesus. Oh, I know. Kill, bind, sweat. Isn't that cute? See, kill, bind, sweat. It's cute. It's a hook. I appreciate that from a capitalist standpoint. I totally appreciate it. That's right, Ryan. Some holistic care. Oh man, get a whole list of stuff. You're going to take this and this and this and this and this and all these things at Detox. That's exactly right. All you need is just more cowbell. More cowbell. Okay, so did you get a NutriVal without a BP clinician interpreting it for you? Did you get? Would you? I don't know what that means. It's hard pressed. No one will interpret a NutriVal like a BP trained clinician. I'll tell you that right now. Well, I'm glad it's entertaining. That's pretty good. Okay. GDV cameras. Paul, those are really cool. You know, they do. Okay. And that's my whole point. Okay. I've played with the GDV camera plus the little, you know, EAV test, cross-reference it with a Zyto, cross-reference it with blood work, cross-reference the blood in dry field and dark field and phase 3 contrast, and they didn't all match in the moment, controlled for in an environment, okay, as best we could. We were still in a clinical setting, but that's what I'm saying. It's more data points. This is what all this is. Like all these words that I'm saying right now is being listened to by Facebook. 100%. This is going into an AI computer and they're hearing all the words. I guarantee you guys, and I'm going to show you if it comes up. I'm going to go and I'm going to refresh my timeline, and as many times as I said detox, 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 I'm going to get all the detox products, swear, right? Matter of fact, let's go GDV camera, GDV camera, GDV camera, GDV camera. Let's see if I get some of that too, okay? Not even kidding you. Carrying near integrity. Oh, thanks, Felda. You're always good there. Hey, Paul, it's cool. Right machines, covered all that. Totally off topic. I bought a little TENS machine while visiting Hawaii earlier this week. Does using that on inflammation, example in the neck, is it causing more damage? Okay, Lorette, great question. Here's the thing. Number one, a TENS machine. I have no idea what that TENS machine is doing. What is its power output? What is its waveform? What is its frequency? See how there's variables? TENS, okay? Transcutaneous electroneurostimulator. Okay, great. But which one? And then which one at what settings? Then using it on inflammation. What kind of inflammation? Are we talking about prostaglandins? Are we talking about cyclooxygenases? I mean, what inflammation? Are we talking about, on the neck? Okay, well, are we talking, you see what I'm saying? In other words, I would love to be able to answer these questions, guys, but I can't. Can it cause damage? Sure. Can it do amazing and lovely and deliciousness stuff? Too. Tens is amazing, okay? Can be, just depends, okay? Oh, yeah. Woo! No sods. Oh, my gosh. Exactly. Got to be careful. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Satellite radio in my car, 2-3 hours a day. Being used in satellite for about an hour a day. Should I cancel the service? No, guess what, Sean? You're getting the satellite whether you're listening to it or not. I'm getting your satellite radio too right now because I guarantee if I'd gotten in the car and turned it on and I paid for the service, I'd be getting it. Okay? It's showering all of us. All kinds of frequencies. Rife was dope sauce. I loved it. Okay, there's some really cool schnickikins going on with that. However, that was before all the radio frequency that we have now. So it changed the environment. It's like playing a symphony in the Grand Canyon versus in Carnegie Hall. It's the same thing, the same songs, the same instrument, the same people, but in a different freaking echo chamber. It's going to be different, okay? So it's tough in a car, right? And guess what? Everybody driving by you is banging you too, okay? So that's how that goes. Sauna taught me yet another good lesson. Careful what you deem healthy. Paul, you're absolutely right. I'm not going to, yes, saunas, they're healthy, right? They're amazing, right? They're pretty much not contraindicated for most people, but in the context of what? They can wreck your bleep. They cool. Okay. Mentioned Mossy Morosi water crystal work was bunk. How was it flawed? I covered that in the post. Okay. Everything about it was bunko. Okay. Listen, guys. I'm tempted. I'm so tempted. Okay. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Oh, man. I'm looking for a Sharpie. You know what I was going to do? I was going to grab a Sharpie, and I'm going to go, and on this bottle, I'm going to write cancer, hate, stupidity, bad luck, headaches and migraines. And I'm going to drink out of that bottle for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to put death on there. I'm going to, kill puppies, all kinds of yucky stuff on my bottle, and I'm going to drink it. And ain't a damn thing going to happen. Emoto, oh my gosh, guys. Matter of fact, that's my challenge to you guys. Do it yourself. Do it. See what you come up with. That's how that works. FM was basically in the 1970s. Asked in a thread about Oral IV on Amazon. Is it legit? Yes, we do. Oral IV on Amazon is a legit seller. Yes. Yep, it is. No one else has that. But again, same thing like with Oral IV. That's a product I make. It's an energetic-based product. It's a bioenergetic. Okay? But I don't tell everybody, oh, it's everything to end all to begin all. What it does is when you consume Oral IV, it's had a charge potential put into it. Not homeopathically, okay? It's different, okay? Because you have to have a carrier, something to hold on to it. Water by itself doesn't do that very well. It can, but you have to have certain natured minerals in it in ratio and combination to the other in order for it to do it. And even then, it requires a signal to the biological terrain of the individual, okay? If you get hammered on a handle of Jack Daniels and if you think that Oral IV is going to help your damn hangover, no. However, if you have a couple of Vesper martinis, like yours truly, and you drink a liter of water prior to your bed before stopping partying, and you have an Oral IV with you, will you wake up the next morning with a better chance and tendency to not have that little puffy effect and stuff like that? Yes. Okay, so that's kind of how it goes. What's up, Josh? Okay, guys, well, we're getting a little long here. Man, almost an hour with you guys. So it's been fun. That's my biotransformation. instead of detoxification shtick, okay? That's the thing about the detox dope dealers and the bioenergetic buffoons. Guys, you can't replace working the framework of balanced protocol in consideration of the 4 factors and giving it time. By understanding you're a category of 1 within the context of you, applying a Q square M square. That's why all those things I keep saying my shtick. It is the solution. I'm telling you. Put it to the test. And if you got specific questions for follow-ups, shoot them out. I'll do the best I can. It just really comes down to stuff, guys. I'm trying to teach you how to think, not what to think, and giving you systems and always putting you back into who you are specifically. Okay, so I'm gonna put this flower of life on my yin tong, my third eye, and I'm gonna know everything. I'm just kidding, guys. It gets crazy. It just gets crazy, man, out there, y'all. I feel for you. Anyways, okay, so love you, and you know the deal. Number 1, if you haven't taken advantage of Balance Protocol Prime, the first couple of modules, there's 3 modules for free. Go to programs.balanceprotocol.com, sign up, go through that, take your red pill, so you at least have the context to understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. See how I had to put out programs for you guys to even understand where the hell I'm coming from? That's that, okay? Because it's the same thing, like one last thing to button up, because I got my question. So the Weston A. Price diet, there's a post in here about asking that, and you have a kid eating Weston A. Price diet but still has bad teeth, okay? You guys have to understand something, okay? I love the tenets of Weston A. Price's diet stuff. A lot of that is the same as mine. However, the difference is it doesn't differentiate anybody and no age. Okay, you can't feed kids organs. Okay, you have to have enough mineral reserve, liver energy to turn organs, higher frequency things into you. Kids simply can't transform it. It will cause problems with their skin, their development, their hormones, their digestion, all that. And don't go thinking that fermenting something makes it more bioavailable. That's not true. It changes the chemistry, okay? Babies, mammals are given sweet milk. So if you give them the milk, that's fine. But then it's the caveat, the context of where's the milk coming from? Oh, dairy's bad. No, it's not. Okay, it's wonderful for me. I love me some nice dairy. Okay, and again, dairy, what's that mean? We talking about pig dairy? Talking about goat dairy? Maybe I should go here in Florida and go get me some manatee dairy. See me snorkeling in there doing that? Look, so see these terms where everything gets lost and all that? Go get some contacts, programs.balanceprotocol.com. Get your baptism of fire. Figure it out. Keep your questions coming. I love you guys. I'll keep working hard for you. Live life in balance. That's the answer.